Maybe if he defecated outside, then they could have had a stronger argument.
And they come up and sniff me, and I'm like, get this out of my face.
The old platypussy.
She looks
Killing
like
some
a
people
tough
in a mine.
baby. Holy shit.
He thought people had sent him a fake animal.
No.
Wow.
To be fair, I bet that echidna was pretty hot when it was younger.
You should feel teeth on your nipples. It doesn't feel great.
Well, I beg to disagree.
Commonwealth, the former empire, now Commonwealth. Is it relevant? Probably not. But why not give this part a shot? Stay tuned. Here comes Uncommonwealth, the podcast.
And we are live. Welcome, as always, to the Uncommonwealth podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
So I saw this news article, and this is the headline. Husband on leash breached Quebec's COVID curfew.
No, you can't do that. No.
Piers,
come on.
Are you doing this segment?
No.
Yes, I'm doing that segment. I've been sitting on that for weeks now.
Oh,
We had to do these stupid themed ones, and I've been sitting on this stuff.
But it happened on January 12th. That's 8 days ago. How have you been sitting on it for weeks?
Weeks.
Do you want me to do a different one?
At least one
No,
week.
Do that one. Do that.
No,
one.
I have another one prepared. It's fine.
I'm sure you have a better take on it than I do. Do it. Go.
We'll switch.
I've got more.
I'm switching.
From now on.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a new game. Okay. A new segment. I don't have a title for the segment yet, but here's the idea. I'm going to give you 3 movie quotes and the name of 3 movies. Now, all the quotes are said by the same actor. So you have to first tell me who the actor is, and then you have to match each quote with each movie. Does it make sense?
Yes. Sean Connery.
No. But thanks for guessing.
Would have been pretty impressive if it was, though.
Okay, here are the 3 movies. Batman Begins, American Psycho, and The Big Short.
Oh, I know The Big Short in and out. I've seen it like
lots of blueberries
30
in The
times.
Big Short.
Yeah.
Okay, and here are the 3 quotes. Okay, it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. It's quote 1. Quote 2, I want my pain to be inflicted on others. I want no one to escape. And the 3rd quote is, could we make it 100 million? Who's the actor? First of all.
Katherine, take it away. You seem very happy that you know this one.
Who's the actor?
Yes, the same actor said all 3 of those quotes. You seemed very
This is
confident.
so obvious. What's his movie? No, don't. Christian Bale.
There you go.
Yes. Okay. Now, which
I
quote
just-
goes with which movie?
The first one is Batman. The $1 million is what was the second movie? The other movie?
American Psycho and The Big Short.
And wait, do the quotes again. I'm gonna get this all right.
Listening and reading comprehension is a tough part of this podcast. And
Especially when you're so excited that you think you know.
Yeah.
So it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. I want my pain to be
That's
inflicted
Batman.
on others. I want no one to escape. And the 3rd is, could we make it 100 million?
I believe the pain is the Big Short.
I thought you knew The Big Short backwards and forwards.
yeah,
It's
you-
not.
That didn't sound confident. I'm just saying you didn't sound confident in that.
Well, I'm almost positive.
Do you think he's tried to do a trick on us by the one
Yes,
with 100
because
million
the million
isn't The Big Short?
is American Psycho.
Okay, wrong.
No!
Could we make it 100 million
Why
is
did
The Big
you
Short?
do the quotes and the movies in the same order?
Nah.
We randomized it. Okay, let's do round 2. We'll see if you guys got better at this. I'll even make it easy for you. Same 3 movies.
But he literally didn't change the order, so I thought he was tricking us.
He did. That was
That's
the
part
trick
of
all
your
Word
along.
game.
tricks.
That's part
You
of his
did get
game,
tricked.
Katherine.
That was the trick all along.
He's in
Hidden
our
in
heads.
plain sight.
I don't enjoy this.
Same 3 movies. I'm being nice. Batman Begins, American Psycho, and The Big Short. And the 3 quotes are, quote 1, I may have been early, but I'm not wrong. Quote 2, 3
Oh,
weeks from now.
that's the Big Short, 100%. That's Christian.
You got to remember that 100% coming from Katherine could be anywhere between 1% and 5,000%.
Yes. Okay. I may have been early, but I'm not wrong. That's quote 1. Quote 2, 3 weeks from now, I will be harvesting my crops. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. Quote 3, I have all the characteristics of a human being, blood, flesh, skin, hair, but not a single clear, identifiable emotion except for greed and disgust.
Okay. Big Short, and then
Batman, American Psycho.
Yes,
Oh,
Batman, American Psycho.
Big Short, Batman, Psycho.
Okay. So you got American Psycho wrong, but the second quote was from Gladiator.
What?
Oh, we know Gladiator so well. You can't fool us with Gladiator.
No.
This isn't fun.
No, that does not count.
The third one was definitely American Psycho, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the second one.
All right.
3 weeks from
Right.
now, I'll be harvesting my
Yeah,
crops.
it's
Imagine where you
Gladiator.
will be. It's
That didn't
Gladiator.
make
Yeah, it
sense.
doesn't sound like a Batman quote now that you say it again.
The segment may come as a surprise to all of you. It's about a Canadian couple in Quebec, where recently they have imposed a 8 p.m. curfew to stop people from, having parties and messing around. But one of the things you're allowed to do after 8 p.m. is if you have a dog, you're allowed to take it out for a walk. A Canadian woman was caught walking her male partner, on a leash as if he were a dog. A hilarious but illegal attempt to get around Quebec's curfew to slow the spread of coronavirus. They were each given a $1,500 Canadian fine for violating the rules. And they claimed it was just she said that they were perfectly within their rights to do this because he was on a leash. So everyone in the BDSM communities up in arms.
Can I just
that
clarify?
they're-
We're talking about a literal leash here, not a
a
figurative
literal leash, and he was walking on all fours. And now the S&M community thinks that they're kink shaming people. So that's been a big.
Well, I wonder
That seems
if he legit identified as a dog, but I don't think he did.
You're saying it was a deception, Adam?
Yes.
That he wasn't truthful?
They were looking for a loophole instead of following the spirit of the rule, which is like we're trying to limit. You can take your dog out to take a poo, but don't be walking around after. Maybe if he defecated outside, then they could have had a stronger argument.
Yeah, it could have called the government's bluff,
Yeah, and then they'd have a different fine probably for.
Yeah. You got to give them points for creativity, but I guess I think I'm on the government side for this one.
and commitment to the bit. But the woman, apparently they did not cooperate with the police officers at all and refused the ticket and said they would continue to do this every night and just collect the tickets and never pay them.
Did they leave the house 100% in roll, or were they just going on a standard walk and it wasn't until the police arrived and then they were like, "Oh, I'm a dog. Get there."
Well, he was on a leash, so that's premeditated dog walking right there.
I think the problem with all of this is that anyone's allowed to leave to walk their dogs in the first place.
So
Is
you're
it only
anti-dog?
dogs? Can you walk a cat?
I just feel like, it's like this weird one exception. Like dog owners need more leeway in life.
This is a strange exception. I agree.
I think that's what they're protesting, because
Right.
they clearly don't have a dog.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if they
Why?
did have a dog and they left it at home.
They left it at home.
They just want to make a point.
They're just using his leash.
Nowadays, the trend is my dog is so well trained, I don't even need a leash. Like so many of these dogs out
I
on the
hate
street,
that.
and they come up and sniff me, and I'm like, get this out of my face. I don't want your dog touching me. And
Well-
like people act all like, oh, she's not into, like, doesn't want to touch you. I hate dogs.
You should
Keep
see
them
it.
away
Well,
from
look
me.
how well trained this woman's dog is. He submitted his tax returns and he made dinner.
He's
very
wearing a
well trained.
mask.
And they always say their
Like-
dog is, oh, no, he's really sweet and nice, just as they're in your face already. It's never before. Like the
The
dog's
thing that
already
bother-
wing striking distance.
The thing that
Follows
bugged
short-
me about this though, it's just this approach that a lot of people take these days. Where like they see a rule that they don't like, and so they just they search for a way to like get around it.
Right.
Instead of just being like, I understand like the concept, I don't like
Right.
it, but
Isn't
it's
how
like,
Oh,
we'll go
I
out
mean,
and pretend you're a dog and get around it, and we'll make
The
light
time,
of the
and,
rule.
the time and energy people today put into not doing things
And
to
yeah.
take a stand or to take a whatever, rather than like actively doing something that it's wild.
And with everything going wrong in the world, like that's the hill you want to like. That's where you're gonna take your stand. There's got to be something else.
do they allow walking of other animals?
I
Just
think they
dogs?
refer to it as pets.
In the order
I
to
could
the
take my pet turtle for a walk then. Perfect. It
the
would
order
just-
states that a person must go out so that his dog can do its business. So it was.
Oh, it says
It
dog.
was,
Okay.
it was dog specific. But it's very progressive that the woman was walking the man. I thought rather there could have been
Oh, that
wouldn't
was
have been
a whole
such
different
a,
set of issues. If
yeah.
And so you're
Was he
saying
wearing
the
like a gimp
BDSM
suit?
community said it was kink shaming. That's a bit much.
Well, they don't get in the news much, Jimmy. So when they got to pounce when they
It's because they've got ball gags. in
they
their
got a
mouths, like-
pounce. Good use of words.
yeah they don't speak out much because their mouths are stuffed.
The podcast.
I'd like to introduce a new segment because I don't have enough
Whoa.
segments as it is.
Yeah, Catherine, I feel like you've single-handedly used up our jingle budget.
But they
Just ate
always
up all
have
our ad
catchy
revenue.
titles. So this one is, I'm going to call it Uncommonly Wealthy. And
Ooh. Fancy.
And I'm gonna find rich people around the world and see if we can make fun of them. That's your job. I'm gonna tell you about them, and then you guys can tear them down because why not?
You also call this Mean
this-
Girls.
No, they're fine. They have billions of dollars. Okay, I searched for the wealthiest person in various countries and nothing was that interesting. And then I searched for the wealthiest person in Australia. And guess what?
Ooh.
In 2020, it's a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
It's
Gina, right?
Gina
Gina
Reinhart.
She
So we-
is a piece of work. I'm ready to tear her down, Catherine.
Okay, I figured you'd know about her. I assume Adam and Piers don't. Gina
do not.
Rinehart, a mineral exploration, a mining magnate, basically.
She's a mining mogul, yeah.
She
Self-made.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'll let Catherine do the facts.
Well, this part pissed me off because she's a woman, so she's described as a mining mogul, but then and an heiress. But if you read more closely, the company that she inherited from her father was actually in a lot of debt. So she might have had a few million, but she's turned it into
She had
28.
a small loan of $40 million or whatever.
Well, as Trump says, he had just
That's
$1
what I'm
million and he
referencing. That's the
turned-
exact.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Trump quote. That was
She I'll use US dollars instead of real money instead of Australian dollars
koala bucks.
Why are you using US dollars? She's an Australian businesswoman.
because no one knows the conversion. She's worth 14.8 billion because of the increase in value or the explosion of iron ore in the early 2000s. She was then the richest person in Australia, but then she wasn't again. But in 2020, it's in the news. She's now again the richest person in Australia, and she did inherit the company from her father, but it was at best worth 75 million. But honestly, there was a lot of debt, so she is hugely successful. I don't want to. Okay, look, she has some
Now,
bad
what was-
qualities, but I don't
was
want to
it-
undermine, pun intended, her success.
Now, was a lot of her success due in part to timing? Did her father die just as ore exploded into the stratosphere? Well, she's getting a
Yes.
big boost here, and I'm just curious.
No, I'm gonna
It
go
was-
with no.
She's gonna go with no, but without having any actual research or
I don't really
evidence
know
to
when her
support
father
that.
died.
There's no
I
doubt that
don't-
was a part of it, Piers.
Is it just tied to iron ore prices went up?
No.
No,
Or did
she
she do
expanded the
something?
company, and her father made a bunch
She
of
ran
mistakes.
it well, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she ran it really well. By all accounts, an excellent businesswoman, not maybe the best person for human rights,
Right.
worker rights.
Yes.
She's pretty right wing, but she,
Well, it's
she
hard
put
to
it-
run a mining company without,
She looks
Killing
like
some
a
people
tough
in a mine.
baby. Holy
She-
shit!
All right.
Did you just Google her?
No
She's,
fat shaming.
Yeah.
No, it's
she.
Wait, what's her
she
name
doesn't-
again? Now I gotta look.
Gina
like-
Rinehart.
Gimli from Lord of the
Now imagine Gimli saying that if people want to have more money, they should stop whining. This is something she said, and do something to make more money yourself. Spend less time drinking or smoking or socializing and more time working. Jimmy, say that in an Australian accent.
I don't ever want to pretend to be her. She's
Oh, she's from Perth,
So
huh?
you know what? Okay, I don't think she's that great. All right, Jimmy, I'd like to hear what the Australians think of her. Like, is she really well known? And
she's really well known, and she's disliked.
Mhm.
Unsavory business practices, a complete disregard for the environment, all those kind of things
she's
create.
quoted as saying that Africans will work for $2. Why won't
Yeah, she's just
Australians? Like that kind of
she's
stuff.
just got disgusting worldviews.
Her daughters are babes. Sorry, this is getting off
Oh
topic.
my god.
So Catherine, did you
What were you gonna say, Jimmy?
did you
Is- do
bring
have a
this
real
up
question?
hoping for like
Woo.
this is great, like richest person in
Right?
Australia is a woman. This is
Yeah.
great, progressive.
No, she is kind of a monster. It was just it was a good opening because it's rare to have there aren't that many female billionaires and mining magnates.
Imagine
like,
how
in that-
tough you have to be
Oh, yeah,
no,
a
she's-
woman
that's-
in the mining industry. You
Oh,
have
I
to
think
Yeah.
she's
tougher than
uh,
every man you meet by tenfold. Easy.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
So
Well, and if
I
you
can
inherited the
imagine-
company, people just
Of-
right off of
don't-
that, they don't give you credit.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I am curious how she managed to have beautiful children because
Right.
Let's be clear. The reason that I and everyone else dislike her is not because she is unblessed in the physical attributes department. It's because of she's an unsavory character.
yeah.
But
You're not the one that
Piers-
called her
Well,
Gollum. It was Pierce.
Well, I mean, she could have been a babe when she was younger. I think, mining takes its toll on.
got the black
she,
lung, Pa.
she was very pretty when she was younger. I think, sucking the
wow.
souls out of the Earth's core has,
That's
taken
true.
its toll on her.
That is true.
Uncommon wealth.
This week, I have another exciting animal to share with you in this week's rendition of Jimmy's Exotic and Exciting Animals.
Jimmy's Exotic Animals. He's Australian, so he likes animals, and his name is Jimmy.
And this is topical because I FaceTimed Dad last night.
Hey.
He's retired now, but he was a scientist back in the day. So he used to work in genomic.
Wow.
When I was FaceTiming him last
Cool.
night, having a chat, he was like, "Oh, have you heard the latest news about the sequencing of the platypus genome?" And I said, "You know what, Dad? I actually haven't. Maybe you could share it
You're
with me."
never gonna believe this. I haven't heard.
But he was very excited to tell me that they've basically sequenced the entire genome of the platypus as of about 2 weeks ago, when previously they'd only sequenced about 25%. So this is big news. Okay,
In
that's
the
cool.
platypus community.
Big news in the platypus community.
Small but passionate community.
So that's why I'm doing the platypus as my exotic animal this week, and I'm sure
Whoa.
all of our listeners know what the platypus is.
Can I ask a quick question before you start?
Please.
What's the plural of platypus?
You know what, Adam? Bloody great question, and the answer is it's undecided. They don't actually know.
I was hoping it was
Whoa.
pusses. Platypuses.
It can be. It can be
Pussies.
if you want to.
Platypuses.
It can be that as
Platypuses.
well. There isn't a proper plural because there was some
Wow.
controversy
The
in
debate-
naming
Controversy.
There was controversy
Controversy.
because when they named it, there was another animal, some bug that was called a platypus. A longer
stole the
scientific
name?
They
Oh, the
stole
platypus-
the name.
So
I
the
need a
bug-
reminder.
The
What's
bug
a
community
platypus?
took on the platypus community.
It was a turf war. It was
Turf
like the
war.
Bloods versus the Crips, the Capulets
West
versus
Side
the
Story.
Montagues. Yeah.
I need a reminder of what the platypus is.
For anyone who doesn't know, the platypus is a very weird animal. So it's a semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal that's native to Eastern Australia. But the reason it's so
About
odd,
the size, is it about the size of a beaver?
yes, yeah, it's about the size of a beaver. So it's unusual because
The beaver scale that Canadians use.
it's about 75% of a beaver.
Okay.
The platypus looks like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different animals. So it has the bill and webbed feet of a duck.
Mm.
It has a tail of a beaver, and it has like the body and fur of an otter. It is this weird hodgepodge that doesn't look like a real animal. So when it was first discovered, so English settlers in Australia, when they first saw it, they described it. They actually sent a taxidermied version back to England, and a fellow called George Shaw, he was a zoologist there at one of the biggest British museum. He thought it was a hoax. He thought people had sent him a fake animal.
No.
Wow.
Because
What
of
the
how
original
ridiculous.
turducken.
they literally sewed all those things together and sent it back to him.
He
Frankensteined it together?
He checked for sewing marks. He was looking for stitches because he didn't
Oh
think it
my
was a real
God.
animal.
Wow.
God.
That's how unbelievable and weird looking this is.
So they're native to Australia. only?
They're native and only in Australia.
By the way,
Only-
what a great prank if you know sort of an evolutionary biologist.
Just sew together an animal.
You should have seen how we got old Georgie Shaw this weekend. But I think people did that because back in the day, people were still discovering an animal a week.
Oh, you know internet. You could get away with
Yeah,
anything.
Exactly. Native to Australia, it's also only one of two monotremes, which is a subset of mammals, and they are mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young.
Oh.
So the platypus and the echidna are the only two mammals in the world that give birth to
The
eggs.
echidna.
And
What's the echidna?
the echidna is
You can't just
basically
drop
like a
shit like that.
It's like a porcupine. It's the Australian version of a porcupine.
Ah.
So they also the platypus mammal. It doesn't give birth to live young, has eggs, but it feeds its young milk, but it doesn't have nipples to breastfeed. So what it does, it basically just sweats milk, and the baby platypus just can't come and lick up
Wow.
the milk from
That's
the
awesome.
folds of the platypus skin.
This is
Wow.
so on theme for me right now. Oh my god.
Is that how you feed Arthur?
Just licks your skin.
I would like
boozy-
another option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
would like to find another way than the suckling. That you should feel teeth on your nipples. It doesn't feel great.
Well,
it's,
I beg to disagree.
I think
If you combine it with a leash around your neck, it's different. But
it's all about properly setting the mood first, Catherine. Yeah.
Do you know what a group of platypuses is called?
No.
It's a good one. It's called a paddle. A
Oh, that
paddle
is-
of
Wow.
platypuses.
Love that.
Or platypuses, or platypi, whatever you want to do.
Platypuses.
Some other crazy platypus facts. Underwater, they hunt.
Never thought I'd hear someone say that. Another crazy platypus fact.
Oh man,
Sorry.
there's so many. They're very good swimmers. Then they're not so good on land. They're good swimmers, but they don't have good eyesight. They're not good at smelling. So underwater, they close their eyes, they close their ears, and they hunt by little electrical sensors in their nose. So they just
Oh.
snuffle around on the bottom of a lake bed and find
Snuffle.
stuff. And then they don't have teeth. So get this. This is how they chew. They just get a mouthful of gravel, and hopefully there's some little bug larvae in there or a crustacean or two, and then they kind of smush it all around, and the gravel that they eat up that acts as their mastication, chewing their
Wow.
food because they don't have teeth.
okay.
What a
There's
life.
so much in there. Yeah, but Piers just sent us a picture of the echidna, and if you're listening, please Google it because that's actually what Gina Rinehart looks like.
Oh, that's terrible. But funny.
Oh my god.
To be fair, I bet that echidna was pretty hot when it was younger.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I forgot one of the coolest platypus facts. Platypus, the only mammals, I think this is like another, again, only two. It's venomous. It has a venomous spur on its
Oh.
back foot.
Oh right.
So-
Wow.
This thing, so this is to wrap it all up. This
Wow.
is the significance of the fact that they sequenced the genome. They learned so much more about the DNA of the platypus, which is a mammal. So we're in the same, whatever that
Yeah.
thing is
Yeah.
called. So we share DNA.
I
with
know a
this
couple
thing.
people.
It's got genes that birds have. That's why it lays eggs. It's got the gene for yolk. Like, we don't have that gene.
Wow.
It's got genes for venom. Like, that's
Oh.
from reptiles. So it shares.
Can it kill
genes
it?
with-
whoa.
How strong
It's
is the
crazy.
venom? Like, could it kill a human?
No, it wouldn't kill a human. It'd cause you some discomfort.
Do you think anyone's ever turned up at the hospital and be like, I just got venomous bit by a platypus? I just got platypus.
I'm
I just
experiencing
got
extreme
platypus.
discomfort.
And how do they attack? How do they attack with the back foot?
Well, they don't
Kick
attack
you?
humans.
Oh,
Sounds like a spur, like on a cowboy boot. They just like back kick you.
That is that is exactly what it is.
It
Oh,
might be
wow.
if if something was attacking it from behind, a predator, it would just boot them
Ah.
and scoot,
Yeah.
boot and scoot.
A boot and scoot. That's
The
what
old
they're
boot
known
and
for.
scoot.
The old boot
The
and scoot.
old boot and scoot.
The old-
Like the Empire, we're almost done. We hope that you've had lots of fun. Was it relevant? Probably not. But thanks for giving this part a shot. Stay tuned for the end of Uncommon Wealth, the podcast. Stay tuned for Uncommon Takes.
babies that young don't even like TV. That's how dumb they are.
Uncommon Takes.
I'm in such a bad mood. I was in a good mood, but then Adam's
You want-
segment.
I'm so sorry.
Uncommon Takes.
She doesn't have a great relationship with her son. Her son changed his name to his father's name. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Changed his name from whatever. No, I don't know how this word worked. Her son doesn't like her. All right.
Uncommon Takes.
I also had a platypus sex fact. Oh, here we go.
Please,
Oh,
so-
please tell me
Please,
what
it's
it's bad.
bring it
bad.
on.
We still got time.
So okay, so platypus mating is often a strenuous affair. In one recorded session, the male was seen tightly grasping the tail of the female with his bill as she led him on an exhaustive chase.
Gives new meaning to the phrase chase and tail.
Good. The old platypusy.
Uncommon Wealth, the podcast.